All right. So late start, but it's a day off, so it's all good. So yeah. Uh, I know I went off on a tangent yesterday about snowflakes and how kids are today. So we're not going to do a tangent today. That was ramblings of a madman. But there still could be more ramblings of a madman. But who knows? Uh, got the four adults are doing something today. We gotta take care of bills and everything. So I got DJ and Jen in the back, and I got Kelly up front as my co-pilot. Well, Jen's the navigator, so we're definitely screwed on that one. So
Oh well.
we
Might be
could
a fun adventure.
wind up taking a wrong left at Albuquerque or something like that.
Go north, young man.
It's your fault for listening to me.
Well, yeah.
Especially since your phone has a GPS.
I know, right? But
I need to. I gotta get that letter turned in to Tammy.
so we're gonna make a quick pit stop since Kelly has to stop by the office real quick. Do a quick 180 here.
I don't mean throw us around in the car.
Well, I ain't throwing y'all around yet. I
He's
can.
trying.
I know, right?
I can. But I won't. Okay.
I'll be right back.
All right. So, I think I think that with what has been going on, they've been talking about teachers sleeping with students and different things like that. Never had that issue when I was in high school. How about you, D?
Huh?
Teachers sleeping with students when you was in high school.
No. Well, I heard about it, but then again, I also didn't have any teachers that looked well enough to even cross the mind. All my teachers were like 5 times my age.
But if
older.
you had the opportunity, you would have.
No.
That's what you're insinuating.
No.
If the teacher was nice enough looking and everything, and wasn't like 50 times your age, you're saying it was a possibility.
You asked the wrong person that question, because at that point in time, I would have, yeah. But we didn't have the quality of teachers that we have.
Right, and and here's the thing though, but when we were younger, we didn't go around bragging about stupid shit like that, did we? If that was to happen, would you have gone around and bragged that you bagged a teacher?
Depends on who the teacher was.
Well, the school I went to and stuff, I mean, it was well known and it was on the news that several of the coaches were sleeping with students. So, I mean, I can't really say anything.
That's Capitol Hill for you, though.
Yeah. Not as bad as it is now.
Oh yeah, now it's
I wouldn't send my worst enemy there.
Well, even if you look at the school systems now, and aside from all the scandals and everything with the teachers and the coaches and everything, the schools now are completely different than when we all went to school. I know Kelly went to high school in Alaska. DJ, you went to Westmore, right? And then Jen went to Capitol Hill. And then I went to Norman High.
We just all over the map.
Yeah. Well, the three of us, we were all over the state. Kelly was all over the map. But I know when I went back to Norman High to get my transcript for a job at a juvenile center, they took out all the lockers. There's no lockers now in Norman High. Not sure about Norman North.
Well, you don't really need a locker now anymore whenever you don't have but maybe 1 or 2 textbooks and everything else is on the computer.
Right. Well, not only that, but I know Norman and Norman High, they're still on block schedule. So, you only get 2 classes in the morning, 2 classes in the afternoon, unless you're in athletics, and then you have that last class every day for the year. Where a lot of schools just have, I don't know what schools do block scheduling, but I know that most of the schools, you've got 6 or 8 subjects you got to do in a day, and then after that, your last class is going to be your athletic, be it football, basketball, wrestling, or whatever. And then those that do band, they do their thing.
As messed up as it sounds, I didn't even think about this until it just clicked. Of all movies to have a correct premonition, it's Bill and Ted's Bogus Journey.
Bogus Journey or Excellent Journey?
When they went to the future.
That would.
I think that was Bogus Journey.
They started off in the future in Bogus Journey.
Yeah.
I like to see what they do in Bill and Ted 3.
But I can't believe how accurate that actually was, except for maybe the clothing styles to where they looked like they were walking around in boxes or some shit.
Right.
But
or even having the time traveling phone booth.
Yeah.
That'd be nice to have.
That was a Doctor Who ripoff.
Oh, I knew someone was going to get a Taurus comment in there on this one. But
Holy shit.
But going back to, I'll ask Kelly when she gets back in the truck. I want to ask her about Alaska real quick. Hi.
Well, it is official. States that you guys are occupants on our list.
Fine.
Or occupants at the trailer.
Okay.
Turn in for the school.
All right.
Come on,
So, got a question for you, Kelly.
Are you still on the thing?
Yes, we are.
Okay.
We've been.
And I just got DJ with the question.
All right. Now, and I already stated early in the vlog that, me, DJ, and Jen, we went to school here in Oklahoma.
Uh-huh.
You had the privilege of going to school there in Alaska, going to high school in Alaska.
I think they wore too much clothes to make that Pacific differential there.
Uh-huh.
When you was going to high school there in Alaska, at any time did you hear rumors or even hear about teachers or coaches sleeping with students?
No.
Okay.
So it's just my school that's ghetto.
Well, and
In this truck.
let me ask you this: when did you go to when did you graduate, Jim?
2002.
Okay. DJ?
99.
And then I graduated 97-ish. 96, 97, one of those 2 years. And Kelly, you finished your senior year, what year?
95.
95, okay.
I'm the oldest one.
So
Shut up, just because I'm your age.
so we've got a little bit of differential time frames for all of us graduating or finishing up high school.
I figured it out.
DJ said if he had the opportunity and the teachers were nice looking at his school, he would have slept with them.
Okay, what'd you figure out, Deke?
The further along in time we went, the less the teachers' spouses were putting out, so they had to go to the students.
Wow. Okay, so on that note, wow. Honestly, that could be a reason. I mean, I'm not saying it's not a reason, but it definitely could be a reason. But let's take, for example,
Advancement in adult toys.
No, we're not going to go.
No, think about it.
I'm trying to keep
In '95, they were stuck with a cucumber, so they had to go to their spouse.
Dude, if you're trying to keep your channel stuff PG, that's not
This has gone from PG to R for now. PG-13ish. We might be going to R if we're not careful, if we keep going on this same subject. But my question would be is this, and this actually happened maybe a year or two ago in Yukon of all places. Actually happened last year. The teacher that slept with the student, and the student decided to keep texts and pictures and all that stuff on their cell phone. How smart was that?
Well,
But my thing is if the student allows it to continue, like let's say they start sleeping together and it goes on for several months, and the student, let's just say the student is the one that pursued the teacher, whatever. Okay, so something happens that the student does not like, then all of a sudden it turns around to the teacher took advantage of them, because of course the parents in the school is going to take the student's side.
Right.
So therefore it's kind of like 50-50. Yeah, this teacher should have known better, but also the student should get some consequences also, especially if they're the one that pursued it and they continued it to go on.
But here, all right. So let me ask you this though. So let's just say, for example, let's go ahead and use your scenario where the student
Pursued the teacher.
pursues the teacher. What if that student's the age of 18?
Exactly.
then they really can't say anything about that.
But they can if they're according to Oklahoma laws and the school system. Even though the student is of the age of 18 and stuff, if they want to pursue a relationship, which is by all means their right, they cannot be at the same school. Now, if the teacher was at a different school, that's different.
But
They cannot be at the same school.
What if the student transferred out of that teacher's class so they can pursue it?
It doesn't matter if they're still in the same school. They have to be in a completely different
see,
building.
that's my thought. There is, what if the student never had the teacher, never had that teacher as a teacher? What if they only saw him in passing in the hallway or at lunch or?
Because according to Oklahoma and the Board of Education and stuff, even if the child or the student is 18 and they pursue a relationship with the teacher that is working in the same school as them, that is going to give other kids and teachers the impression that it's going to be allowed.
Okay, I can see that.
If they keep it private and keep it outside of the school to where the other students aren't seeing it, then the Board of Education should not have a finger in their private life whenever they're not
But
in school.
this day and age and stuff, there's barely anything you can keep quiet.
Yeah, with social media, and I touched on this yesterday on my vlog, with the way that kids are nowadays, with how they want to be, how they just feel like everything should be handed to them, or even just really don't care what they put. Like that one kid, like the junior there in Blackwell, that posted on Instagram, don't come to school, and then have a picture of an AR-15 with a case of ammo underneath it. And then he takes it down. What? I mean, in all honesty, unfortunately, kids, you might be the valedictorian of your school, but still dumb as a box of rocks. You might be book smart, you might know what you're doing and everything when it comes to your grades and etc. But you become dumb as a box of rocks and decide to post every little thing on social media, be it Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, or whatever. So kids nowadays just don't know when to either A, keep their mouth shut, or B, don't say nothing at all.
But that also comes back on the parents, though, too.
You know, if we didn't have kids raising kids,
Or parents that just don't care. They're the trophy, participation trophy children that, here you go,
little Johnny deserves a trophy
Yeah.
because they placed last in soccer
I'm
or
sorry,
t-ball.
kids have to learn, that everything is not handed to them in life.
Right.
You have to work for stuff.
Right.
You have to understand failure to learn how to get that drive to work and, put in the hard work and everything to achieve what you want.
And that's exactly kind of what I said yesterday. You could be you could come from the wealthiest family in the world and not have to do nothing and keep that wealth, but then that makes you feel like you deserve everything handed to you on a platter.
Yeah.
You could come from the poorest country, the poorest family in that country. And if you don't want to be in that situation, you will work your ass off in order to progress, to become better, to have a better life, to do something more. And when you get what you deserve from working that hard, mind you, get what you deserve from working that hard, it makes you feel better. It makes you feel like you've actually earned something and you have progressed beyond, oh, I deserve this because I'm from here. I deserve this because I'm this or that or the other.
And that's where a lot of kids, I'm not saying all of them, but there are
a good majority.
A good majority that do come from those families or that situation that comes back to they're going to sleep with the teachers or they're going to do what they want because they, think or expect their parents to get them out of, or when they don't get their way because they're such spoiled children, they ruin somebody's life, mind you, and stuff. Yes, it is the teacher's fault also, for allowing it and not, if the student pursues them, they should have taken it to their boss, and the board and whatever, and the parent, bring it to the parent's attention. So, but there are those kids out there that expect, to get whatever they want, and if they want to sleep with the teacher, they don't think they're going to get consequences, and when it looks like it is that they're going to be in trouble for it, they turn it around to, oh, the teacher took advantage of me, knowing damn well you're old enough to know right from wrong. If
and that also goes back now, and what you said, what you just said made a lot of sense, and it goes back to the point to where, if there's a parent and they're not paying attention to their child, they're going to seek that attention elsewhere. Be it if it's from a good home where they have both parents, or if it's from a good home that just has a single parent. But at the same time, if that child is not getting the attention from either a father, a mother, or both, that child is going to seek attention somewhere else, and that attention is not going to be what the child really needs, so to speak.
Those kind of kids that grow up seeking the wrong attention and get into drugs and everything. I'm sorry to say that happens.
Mm-hmm.
I grew up in a broken home. My father, did every drug imaginable. My mom worked 2 to 3 jobs. I didn't have that loving family home. So yeah, I sought approval from teachers, with grades, working above and beyond, doing extra stuff, getting into sports, so I didn't have to go home. And then yeah, my relationships were toxic. I can admit that all the way up until meeting DJ, I can say probably only about one of my relationships was not toxic.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, it happens. And it's the kids that, suffer from that.
And we're going to take a quick stationary break. All right. Well, one of the things I was just thinking about here just a second ago. When I was in high school, there was a few teachers that, yeah. But at the same time, I wasn't worried about, sleeping with a teacher or whatever. I had a girlfriend at the time, so yeah. But at the same time, if you look, we all have kids that are in school right now, high school, middle school, and 4th and 5th grade. And if we look at the teachers now compared to when we were in high school or when we were in school, the teachers are younger now than what they used to be. Am I wrong? Am I right or wrong on that?
Don't we already touch that base?
Well, there's a reason why I'm touching this. Reason why I'm going on this part here real quick.
You're right.
So with the teachers, be it male or female, at that young of an age, especially in high school, do you think that could be an issue as well as the student not getting the attention at home, or as DJ stated earlier, the teacher not getting attention at their home from their significant other?
Yes.
They can't hear you.
I didn't hear what the question was.
Okay, with the teachers being the age that they are now, being younger, do you think that because the teachers are younger, does that bear any significance on the teacher sleeping with a student, being either the student is seeking approval elsewhere since they're not getting the attention or the approval at home, or on the other hand, the teacher's not getting attention from their significant other at home?
Yes and no. I mean, right now, because of the teacher shortage here in Oklahoma, they're pretty much giving anybody certificates to teach.
Yeah.
And there are people, that are becoming younger and younger to be teachers.
You smoke one.
And, I don't think age has a role in this, because it could be somebody that is in their 20s, in their 30s, in their 40s. But also you can't blame that the teacher isn't getting attention or whatever at home, or the student. You can't base that as the sole reason.
Right.
Because that would be like saying, okay, well, I didn't get attention at home, I didn't get approval and stuff, and so I turned down the wrong path, and I could have easily went towards drugs and alcohol and,
Abusive relationships.
Mind you, I did a little bit, but it could have been so much worse.
Well, and when I say abusive relationship,
Whether it's mentally or physically.
and it don't have to be a mental or physical. It could be, in some cases, and I've seen this with a few friends that I know, and I'm sure you guys have seen it as well. If a female is not getting the approval of her father at home, or getting the attention from her father, she's going to seek out older men or something along those lines when it comes to the opposite sex. And again, the same thing goes for boys or young men, that if they're not getting the approval or the attention from their mom, they're going to do the exact same thing with, be it an older woman or something along those lines. If I'm right or wrong on that.
Well, I don't know, because I think it depends, because I never knew what a loving home was, because, you know, that's all I grew up knowing was my father doing drugs, you know, and drinking, and not, you know, be able to hold a job more than maybe 6 months to a year, you know, and seeing how he was in the mood swings and, you know, all this other stuff. So it wasn't like it was all happy-go-lucky and then something happened and then, you know, it started going bad.
Right.
You know, but yeah, I mean, it could play a role in it, but also that's where, you know, your right from wrong comes into play. You know it's wrong.
You gotta have some values in your life in order to, or some type of understanding between what's right and what's wrong, and not just on basis of, you know, to take a line from Boondock Saints, you know, thou shalt not kill, thou shalt not steal. Those are, you know, those are big ones. But you gotta worry about the smaller things in life, you know, that can have a negative impact on your life. You know, the lesser of quote unquote evils compared to the bigger quote unquote evils.
I mean, teachers, whether it's male or female sleeping with a student, because yes, it is more females, but there are males teachers out there that do it too.
Oh yeah.
You know, if they're older and they have their own family, they don't think, or they need to realize that this doesn't just impact them. It impacts their spouse. If they have children that are in the school district or in school at all, it's going to impact them. So they're not going to only lose their job and possibly and see jail time.
Right.
You know, it's going to impact their children's, you know, future, their image of that parent, and it could lead to other kids bullying that child or giving them a hard time, and then you got the spouse, you know, that's going to have people talking about them and
exactly.
the family and everything, you know, so it's hard because it affects so many different dynamics. You know, with the student, it's going to be, you know, oh, well, you know, you were taken advantage of, but then it comes out, oh, well, you were the one that pursued them. It can flip.
Yep.
I mean, the only way I would, and this is going to sound wrong, the only way I would not have sympathy for the child, especially if they are 16 and older, 16 to 18 in school, where they should know better, is if the student is mentally challenged.
Yeah.
Teachers that take advantage of those kind of students are low.
Mm-hmm.
Because they know, one, those students aren't going to be able to, you know, say what's going on. They're not going to know that it's wrong.
Yeah.
You know, they're not going to be able to verbalize and tell, you know, what's happening, and they're going to think they're getting positive attention from that teacher because they trust them.
I agree.
You know, it's the same way with like the elderly in nursing homes. People that take advantage of them are low.
Yeah, I agree with that wholeheartedly. So.
But if you're 16 to 18, whether you're male or a female student, and you're sleeping with a teacher, you know better. The teacher knows better. There's no excuses.
Yep.
Whether you
But they
grew up,
really want that A.
but whether you grew up in a broken home, you're seeking attention or approval from, you know, that person, or, you know, that opposite sex is not a good enough reason to ruin potentially 2 people's lives and 2 families.
Right, I agree. So, but yeah, this is one of those vlogs that, you know, kind of a PSA type thing, and just kind of
It's starting to get wet back here.
not only just PSA, but just, you know, ramblings of some middle-aged people to a point. But, you know, I agree, you know, I don't think it's right. You know, teachers should hold themselves in a higher regard in a lot of aspects, because they do have they've made a commitment to take care, you know, to take care of kids and teach them whatever it might be, if it's, you know, in grade school, all the different subjects, or even if it's in high school, just a subject or subjects that teacher teaches. So, you know, they do need to, I guess, understand that with the way that things are now, and like, you know, we've all said it can't, you know, nothing can be kept a secret now, basically, because of social media, and because of the ways some people act and think and everything. So, I guess with that being said, I'm going to go ahead and end this. Y'all have a great day, and we will, either all of us or myself, we'll talk to you tomorrow.